Friday morning, day 23 of knowing, I woke with absolute clarity. I wasn't going to wait for Marcus to leave on his terms. I wasn't going to let him control this narrative. But I also wasn't going to blow up in some dramatic confrontation that could be used against me later. I was going to be strategic, calm, and thorough. I called Diana. I'm ready to file. Can we move forward Monday? I'll have the papers drawn up. You'll need to have plans in place for when he's served. Where will you be? Where will the kids be? I'll handle it. Next I called my sister Linda. I need you to take Emma and Jake for the weekend. Starting tonight. What's going on? I'll explain everything later. Can you do it? Of course. Sarah, you're scaring me. Don't be scared. Just trust me. I spent the morning organizing documents, backing up everything to multiple cloud services, and a physical hard drive I'd hide at Linda's. Financial records, Patricia's investigation report, screenshots of messages, photos, everything. I changed all my passwords, secured my new bank account, and made copies of all important family documents. At noon, I went to the bank and withdrew $10,000 in cash from our joint savings. Legally mine to take, Diana assured me, but it would give me a cushion for whatever came next. The teller, who'd known me for years, looked concerned. Everything all right, Mrs. Mitchell? Just some home repairs. I lied smoothly. I'd become good at lying these past 3 weeks. That afternoon, while Marcus was at work and the kids at school, I packed emergency bags for all 3 of us. Clothes, toiletries, medications, important items. I hid them in the basement behind the Christmas decorations. Just in case. I also did something perhaps petty but deeply satisfying. I went through our house and removed every photo of our wedding, our anniversaries, our couple's vacations. All the images of us as a happy couple. I didn't throw them away. I carefully packed them in a box labeled fiction and put them in the attic. In their place, I put photos of me with the kids, my family, my friends. Pictures of my life outside of being Mrs. Marcus Mitchell. When the kids came home, I was ready with the weekend plan. Aunt Linda is picking you up tonight for a special weekend, I announced. She's taking you to that escape room place you've been wanting to try, then Six Flags tomorrow. Really? Jake's eyes widened. But what about Dad's Saturday golf lesson with me? Marcus had been promising Jake golf lessons for months, canceling more often than not. Dad and I have some things to handle this weekend. But you'll have more fun with Aunt Linda anyway. Emma studied me suspiciously. At 12, she was too perceptive for her own good. Is everything okay, Mom? Everything's going to be fine, I said, pulling her into a hug. Sometimes adults just need to sort through grown-up stuff. Linda picked them up at 6, giving me a long look that promised she'd be demanding answers soon. Marcus came home at 7, surprised to find the house quiet. Where are the kids? Linda took them for the weekend. I thought we could use some alone time. His face went through several expressions, surprise, calculation, then forced pleasure. That's great, babe. Like a second honeymoon. A second honeymoon. While his pregnant girlfriend waited across town. We ordered Thai food, from the place we'd gone on our 3rd date, though I doubted he remembered. Over pad thai and green curry, I studied him one last time as my husband. Despite everything, he was still handsome. The years had been kind to him. Silver threading through his dark hair, laugh lines that made him look distinguished rather than old. I could see why Melissa had fallen for him. I could remember why I had. You're staring, he said, smiling. Just thinking about how much has changed since we first went to this restaurant. All good changes, he said, reaching for my hand. We've built an amazing life together. Have we? I asked, genuinely curious. Are you happy, Marcus? Something flickered in his eyes. Of course I'm happy. Why would you ask that? I don't know. You just seem distant lately. Like your mind is elsewhere. Work's been crazy, he said, the lie rolling off his tongue so easily. But it's all going to calm down soon. I promise. Maybe we should take that vacation. Just the 2 of us. That sounds nice, I said. When were you thinking? Maybe in a few months? After the fiscal year ends. After the bonus. After he'd left. Was he really this cruel? Or had he actually forgotten his own plans in the moment? That night, we watched a movie, some action film he chose that I didn't pay attention to. He fell asleep on the couch, his head on my shoulder, and for just a moment, I let myself grieve. Not for him, not for the man he'd become, but for the marriage I'd thought we had, for the future I'd planned, for the family photos we'd never take, the anniversaries we'd never celebrate, the growing old together that had been a lie for who knows how long. Saturday, day 24. I woke early, made coffee, and sat at the kitchen table watching the sunrise. Marcus was still asleep on the couch. In a few hours, everything would change. I'd thought I'd be nervous, but I felt strangely calm. The decision was made. The wheels were in motion. Marcus woke around 8, stretching and yawning. Sorry I fell asleep during the movie. It's fine. You were tired from all those late meetings. He had the grace to look slightly guilty. Yeah, it's been brutal. But hey, we have the whole weekend. What do you want to do? Actually, I have some errands to run this morning. Why don't you go to the gym? Didn't you say you've been missing workouts? You sure? I could come with you. No, just boring stuff. Returns, grocery shopping. You'd be miserable. He kissed my forehead. You're the best. I'll hit the gym, then maybe we can do lunch. Sounds perfect. He left at 9. I knew from Patricia's surveillance that gym meant Melissa's apartment. They had a Saturday morning routine when I was usually at soccer games or Emma's orchestra practice. Today, I was counting on it. I drove to Diana's office, where she had the divorce papers ready. New York doesn't require grounds for divorce anymore. Irreconcilable differences would do. But the evidence of adultery and financial deception would matter for asset division and custody. Once he's served, he'll likely react strongly, Diana warned. Are you prepared for that? I've been preparing for 24 days. The temporary restraining order is ready if you need it. But without evidence of physical threat, it might not be granted. I don't think he'll get violent. His weapon is lies, not fists. Emotional abuse is still abuse, Diana reminded me. Document everything from here on out. I signed where she indicated, officially starting the process that would end my marriage. It felt anticlimactic. A few signatures to dissolve 16 years. From Diana's office, I drove to Patricia's. She had one final report for me. I thought you should see this, she said, handing me printed emails. These are from his work account. He's been telling colleagues he's worried about your mental health, setting up a narrative that you're unstable. I read the emails, each one a masterpiece of manipulation. Marcus expressing concern about my mood swings and paranoia. Mentioning my obsession with his whereabouts. Suggesting I might need professional help. He's establishing grounds to claim I'm an unfit mother, I said, actually impressed by his thoroughness. When did these start? About 2 weeks ago. Right around when you hired me. He might sense something's different about you. Or maybe he'd always planned to paint me as crazy. Maybe this was always his exit strategy. I drove home slowly, taking the long way through Prospect Park. It was a beautiful day, clear blue sky, trees starting to bud with spring growth. Families were out walking, kids on bikes, couples holding hands. Normal Saturday life happening all around me while mine imploded in slow motion. Marcus was home when I arrived, freshly showered and changed. He'd brought lunch from my favorite bistro, another guilt gift. Perfect timing, he said, setting out containers. I got your favorite, the goat cheese salad with candied walnuts. We ate on the back deck, the spring sun warm on our faces. Marcus talked about planning Jake's birthday party next month, about Emma's upcoming recital, about the vacation we should take this summer. Either he was the world's best actor, or he'd completely dissociated from his other life. I've been thinking, he said, reaching for my hand across the table. We should renew our vows for our anniversary. Have a big party, invite everyone. Show the kids what commitment looks like. I almost laughed. The audacity was breathtaking. That's an interesting idea, I managed. What made you think of that? I don't know. I love you, Sarah. I love our life. I want to celebrate that. I looked at our joined hands, his wedding ring catching the light, mine needing cleaning. In another universe, one where he hadn't been living a double life, this would have been a beautiful moment. Marcus, I said carefully, can I ask you something? Anything. Are you having an affair? The words hung in the air between us. His hand tightened on mine, but he didn't pull away. His face went through a series of micro-expressions: shock, calculation, denial forming. What? Sada? No. Why would you even ask that? You've been distant. Coming home late. You smell different. I changed cologne. And work has been crazy. I know. You keep saying that. He pulled me into his arms, holding me tight. Baby, I'm not having an affair. You're the only woman I love. You and the kids are my whole world. I let him hold me, memorizing the feeling. Not because I'd miss it, but because I wanted to remember this moment. The last time he'd lie to my face. I'm sorry, I said into his shoulder. I've just been feeling insecure lately. You have nothing to be insecure about, he murmured, stroking my hair. You're beautiful, smart, an amazing mother. I'm the luckiest man alive. We spent the afternoon doing mundane Saturday things. Laundry, cleaning, paying bills from our joint account. I wondered if he'd noticed the withdrawal yet. Marcus washed the cars while I pretended to work on an article. Everything so normal, so domestic, so false. Around 5, Marcus's phone rang. He looked at the screen and frowned. It's the office. I need to take this. He stepped inside, but I could see him through the glass door, pacing, running his hand through his hair, his stress towel. He came back out looking shaken. There's been a security breach at work. Client data might be compromised. I need to go in. On a Saturday evening. Sure. That sounds serious, I said. How long will you be? I don't know. Could be all night. I'm so sorry, babe. I know we were supposed to have this weekend together. It's okay. Work is important. He kissed me, on the lips this time, deep and lingering. I love you, he said. Don't wait up. After he left, I called Patricia. He just left in a panic. Did something happen with Melissa? She's in the hospital, Patricia reported. Pregnancy complications. She started bleeding this afternoon. So his mistress was having a miscarriage while his wife sat home alone. There was some kind of poetic justice in that, though I wouldn't wish that pain on any woman, even her. Marcus didn't come home Saturday night. He texted around midnight. Still dealing with the breach. Grabbed a hotel room near the office. See you tomorrow. Love you. I knew he was at the hospital with Melissa, probably holding her hand through the worst night of her life. Despite everything, I felt a twinge of sympathy for her. She probably thought she'd found her soulmate, not knowing she was just the latest in a line. Sunday morning, I woke to an empty house and a sense of finality. Today was the day. Marcus would be served tomorrow at his office. Diana had arranged for it to happen publicly but professionally. I told the kids I'd pick them up from Linda's Monday after school. That gave me today to prepare myself for the explosion that was coming. I did normal Sunday things. Went to yoga, where 3 people commented that I looked lighter somehow. Stopped at the farmer's market, bought flowers for the dining room table. I was arranging them when Marcus finally came home around 2, looking exhausted and worn. How was the breach? I asked, not looking up from the tulips. Contained. But it was a nightmare. I'm sorry about last night. It's fine. The kids are still at Linda's. I told them we'd pick them up tomorrow. Good. I need to sleep. He headed upstairs, pausing at the bottom. Sarah? Thanks for being so understanding. I know I haven't been the best husband lately. We all go through phases, I said. He slept until dinner. I made roast chicken, opened a bottle of good wine, set the table with our wedding china. If this was our last meal as a married couple, I'd do it right. Marcus came down looking better, showered and changed into jeans and the sweater I'd bought him last Christmas. Smells amazing, he said, pouring wine. Special occasion. Just Sunday dinner. We ate mostly in silence, the kind that old married couples often share. But instead of comfortable, it felt heavy with everything unsaid. Finally, over dessert, Tiramisu from the Italian place we'd gone for our first anniversary. Marcus spoke. Sarah, is everything okay? You've seemed different lately. Different how? I don't know. Calmer maybe? Or distant? Like you're here but not really here. The irony of him noticing my distance while living an entire secret life almost made me laugh. I've been doing a lot of thinking, I said truthfully. About our life, our marriage, what I want for the future. And what do you want? Honesty. Respect. A partner who sees me. I see you, he said, reaching for my hand again. Do you? When's the last time you asked about my work? My dreams? My thoughts on anything beyond dinner plans and kid logistics? He looked genuinely confused. We talk all the time. No, you talk. About your work, your stress, your needs. When you ask about my day, you don't listen to the answer. That's not. I'm sorry if you feel that way. I can do better. Can you? Can you really change who you fundamentally are? Sarah, you're scaring me. What is this about? I stood, starting to clear the dishes. Nothing. Everything. 16 years of accumulated nothing and everything. He followed me to the kitchen, grabbing my arm gently. Talk to me. Whatever's wrong, we can fix it. I looked at him. Really looked at him. Even now, even knowing what I knew, part of me wanted to believe him. The part that remembered the young man who'd brought me coffee, who'd cried at our wedding, who'd held my hand through labor twice. Some things can't be fixed, Marcus. Don't say that. We're good together. We have a beautiful family, a good life. We have a performance, I corrected. We performed the role of happy family for the kids, for our parents, for ourselves. But when's the last time you were genuinely happy with just me? He couldn't answer that. Because the truth was, I couldn't remember either. Even before I'd known about the affairs. That night, we slept in the same bed for the last time. Marcus curled around me, holding me like I might disappear. Maybe he sensed what was coming. Maybe some part of him knew the game was up. Or maybe it was just guilt over Melissa's miscarriage making him seek comfort from the wife he was planning to leave. I lay awake, his arm heavy across my waist, and counted down the hours until morning. Monday, March 27th, 8:47 a.m. I knew the exact time because I was watching the clock, waiting. Marcus had left for work at his usual time, kissing my cheek, reminding me about Jake's soccer practice that evening. Everything normal except for the phone call I knew was coming. At 9:15 my phone rang. Marcus. What the fuck is this? No preamble, no pretense. Just rage. You've been served with divorce papers, I said calmly. I'd practiced this conversation a dozen times. I can see that. The whole fucking office can see that. You had me served at work. It's the only place I could be sure you'd be. Sarah, this is insane. Whatever you think. I don't think, Marcus. I know. I know about Melissa. I know about Jennifer and Andrea before her. I know about the secret bank accounts, the apartment you co-signed, all of it. Silence. Then, I can explain. I'm sure you can. You're very good at explaining. But I'm done listening. You can't just divorce me. We have kids. We have a life together. We have an arrangement that you were already planning to end. I'm just beating you to it. How long have you known? 24 days. You've known for 24 days and didn't say anything? You let me. He trailed off, probably realizing how it would sound to accuse me of deception. I needed time to protect myself and the kids. To understand exactly what I was dealing with. This is ridiculous. Come home. We'll talk. I am home. You should probably find somewhere else to stay. You can't kick me out of my own house. Actually, I can. There's a temporary order of exclusive occupancy based on the evidence of financial deception and emotional abuse. Diana Morrison is my attorney. Have your lawyer call her. Diana Morrison? She's a shark. Sarah, please, let's be reasonable. I am being reasonable. I'm not emptying the accounts, destroying your property, or posting your cheating on social media. All things I could do. I'm handling this through proper legal channels. What about the kids? I'm picking them up from school today. You can see them this weekend with supervision. Supervision? I'm their father. You're also the man who's been lying to them for years. Who missed Jake's championship game to be with your girlfriend. Who was shopping for apartments while Emma worried about why Daddy seemed sad. They don't need to know about any of this. They need to know their parents are divorcing. The why can wait until they're older. Sarah, please. I love you. No, you don't. You love the convenience of me. The stability I provide while you live your other life. That's not love, Marcus. That's use. He was quiet for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different, calculating. You know I'll fight this. I have resources. I know you'll try. But I have Patricia Coleman's very thorough investigation, including the emails where you tried to establish that I'm mentally unstable. That won't play well in court. You hired a private investigator? Best money I ever spent. This is going to get ugly. It already was ugly, Marcus. I'm just no longer pretending it isn't. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in weeks. It was done. The truth was out. The phone immediately started ringing again. Marcus, then his mother, then my mother. How had she found out so fast? Then numbers I didn't recognize. I turned it off. At 3, I picked up Emma and Jake from school. Linda had brought them back Sunday night as planned, and they'd gone to school normally. They climbed into the car chattering about their weekend, the escape room, the roller coasters, Aunt Linda letting them eat funnel cake for breakfast. Where's Dad? Jake asked as we pulled into the driveway. He's staying at a hotel for a while, I said carefully. We need to talk. I'd rehearsed this conversation with Dr. Bennett, the therapist. Keep it simple, honest but age-appropriate. Don't make them choose sides. We sat in the living room, me on the ottoman facing them on the couch. Their faces were already worried. Dad and I are getting divorced, I said gently. Emma's eyes immediately filled with tears. Jake looked confused. Why, he asked. Sometimes adults grow apart. We want different things. We'll both always love you completely, but we can't be married anymore. Is it my fault? Emma whispered. No, baby. Absolutely not. This is between Dad and me. You two are the best things in our lives. Where will we live? Jake asked, practical like his father. Here with me. Dad will have his own place, and you'll spend time with him too. Is Dad having an affair? Emma asked suddenly. I froze. Why would you ask that? I'm not stupid, Mom. He's always on his phone. He smells like perfume. He lies about where he's going. My 12-year-old daughter had noticed what I'd been blind to. That's something Dad and I are dealing with, I said carefully. But it's adult stuff. Your job is just to be kids. I hate him, Emma said fiercely. No, you don't. You're angry and that's okay. But Dad loves you, even if he's made mistakes. We talked for another hour. I answered their questions as honestly as I could, held them while they cried, promised them over and over that everything would be okay. That evening, while the kids did homework, I turned my phone back on to find 47 missed calls and twice as many texts. I scrolled through, deleting most without reading. But one from my mother-in-law stopped me. I'm sorry. I suspected but hoped I was wrong. You deserved better. The children deserve better. Whatever you need, I'm here. Patricia Mitchell, the woman who'd adorned her son, was taking my side. That unexpected support made me cry for the first time in days. Epilogue. 6 months later. I'm sitting in my new apartment, smaller than the brownstone but filled with light and entirely mine. The divorce was finalized last month. Marcus fought at first, but when Diana presented the full evidence of his deception, including proof he'd hidden assets worth nearly $500,000, his lawyer advised him to settle. I got the house, which I sold, too many memories, primary custody of the kids, substantial alimony, and child support. Marcus gets supervised visitation every other weekend, though he often cancels. The kids are in therapy, working through their anger and disappointment. Emma barely speaks to him. Jake still hopes his dad will become the father he remembers from before. Melissa disappeared from the picture immediately after the miscarriage and the divorce filing. Marcus tried to win her back, I heard. but she wanted nothing to do with a man who'd lied so completely to everyone. There's some justice in that. Patricia told me Marcus is now seeing someone new. A woman from his gym named Carla. 28, no kids, believes his story about a crazy ex-wife who never understood him. I give it 6 months before she finds out who he really is. My sister Linda has been my rock, taking the kids when I needed to cry, reminding me that I'm stronger than I think. My mother-in-law, surprisingly, has become a close friend. She comes for dinner weekly, helps with the kids, and never makes excuses for her son's behavior. I've started dating, nothing serious, just coffee and conversation with men who seem genuinely interested in knowing me. It's strange and wonderful to be seen again, to have someone ask about my thoughts and actually listen to the answer. The kids are adjusting. Emma joined a support group at school for children of divorce. Jake has good days and bad days, but doesn't blame me anymore for his father's absence. They're resilient in ways that break my heart and make me proud simultaneously. Last week, I ran into Marcus at Whole Foods. He was buying flowers, tulips, out of season, expensive. For Carla, I assumed. He saw me and froze, then attempted a smile. "Sarah, you look good." "Thanks. I feel good." "The kids they seem okay." "They're surviving. Kids do that." "I miss them. I miss us." "There was no us, Marcus." "Not really. Just the performance of us." "That's not true. We had good times." "We had times. Whether they were good depends on perspective." He looked older, tired. The charm was still there but dimmed somehow. "Do you hate me?" he asked. I considered the question. "No. Hate takes too much energy." "I nothing you, Marcus. You're just someone I used to know." It was the truth. The man I'd loved, married, built a life with, he'd never really existed. Or maybe he had briefly, before being consumed by whoever Marcus really was underneath the performance. I left him standing in the flower section, holding his tulips, and felt nothing but mild pity. For him, for Melissa, for Carla who didn't know what was coming, for all the women who'd believe his lies because they wanted so badly for them to be true. But mostly, I felt free. If you're reading this, wondering if you're crazy for suspecting your partner is cheating, you're not crazy. Trust your instincts. If you're considering staying for the kids, remember that children learn about relationships from watching their parents. If you're pretending not to know because facing the truth seems too hard, I promise you, living authentically, even if it means upheaval, is better than living a lie. Those 30 days of pretending not to know were some of the hardest of my life. But they gave me power. Knowledge is power, preparation is power, and choosing your moment is power. I don't recommend everyone wait as long as I did. Every situation is different. But I recommend being strategic, protecting yourself and your children, and remembering that you deserve honesty, respect, and real love. Marcus sent me an email yesterday. He's engaged to Carla, wants to introduce her to the kids. The wedding is in 3 months. I laughed, actually laughed. Some people never learn. But I did. I learned that I'm stronger than I knew. That family isn't always blood. Linda, Patricia Coleman, Diana Morrison, and my mother-in-law proved that. And that starting over at 38 isn't an ending. It's a beginning. The kids and I have plans to go camping next weekend. Just the 3 of us. Emma wants to learn to fish. Jake wants to see stars without city light pollution. I want to sit by a fire and feel grateful for the truth, even though discovering it nearly destroyed me. Because here's what I know now. The truth doesn't destroy you. Lies do. The truth, no matter how painful, sets you free. And freedom, I've learned, is worth everything. Thank you for reading my story. If you're going through something similar, know that you're not alone. The path through betrayal to healing isn't straight or easy, but it exists. Trust yourself, protect yourself, and remember, you deserve someone who chooses you, honestly and completely, every single day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Reality Drama and More for more real-life stories. Share your own experiences in the comments below. Has anyone else discovered a partner's double life? How did you handle it? Your story might help someone else finding the courage to face their truth.